Croeso I Bysgota Cymru. Welcome to Fishing in Wales.
If you fancy a bit of bass fishing, this is the place to come. Wild Pembrokeshire. Nature at its absolute best. We're in mid-November and lots of people think the season's over, but it's still prime time. All these marks around us are full of bass. It's world class. Everybody should give it a go. There's all different methods you can use. You can fish in the surf with bait. You can even fly fish in a few places, but probably the most popular is to spin for them. Lots of lures work. Each person has their own favourites. My favourite is a good old-fashioned Toby, and it's my fail-safe lure. I'll try this, try that. If it doesn't work, stick on a Toby, and it usually does the job. Some guys use plugs, some use soft plastic lures, surface poppers. Bass will take them all. I think that what you need to remember about bass, they're not hard to catch, but they can be blinking hard to find, and you need to look for the locations. Bays, rocky coves, estuaries, anywhere but looks fishy, give it a go, and the chances are there'll be fish there. Tides are really important. You need to look at tide tables. On the beaches, around low water is a good time, and also high water. Middle of the tide's not so good. Other places you can get to at low water, but you can't get off. You get trapped for several hours. Please check the tides. You might go onto a beach, there's a lovely little cove, fish it at high water, then you find the headlands either side of you are cut off, and you may be stuck there 5 or 6 hours. So watch the tides. A lot of guys like the big spring tides. I'm not so fussed on them. I think the tide comes in too quickly and just too far. But what you do want is tides that are rising, tides that are building, a little bit bigger every day. And they're usually the best tides. When the tide is falling, usually the fish move off. So it's best to fish the rising tide. A lot of experienced bass fishermen, they find their marks where the bass are regular visitors, and they will not share it. They won't tell anybody, because bass are very territorial, and if the word gets out, they can soon be fished out. What you've got to remember though is most of Wales is virgin territory. It's just not fished. The location we are now is hardly ever fished. So be prepared to scout, look for likely looking spots. And you never know what you might discover. But if you do, keep it to yourself. That's my advice. The Fishing in Wales website has got umpteen locations all around Wales, which are a good guide for you to start. They are well-known, regular marks that bass regularly caught, so they are well worth looking at. So give the website a visit. If you're spinning, you don't need anything special, but what you should have is a rod at least 10 foot long. It's partly because it helps the fishing, but it's also a safety thing. On the Pembrokeshire coast, you've often got swell, and you can stand well above the waves, and the rod will reach down. If you've got a 7-8 foot rod, you've got to get down to the water, and to be honest, you're pushing your luck. That can be dangerous. You want a decent reel. It hasn't got to be, particularly expensive, but something that's made to last, because the terrain is is heavy, and it's quite demanding on your gear. I've had this reel over 30 years, and I bought it reconditioned, and it's brilliant, and it's working as good as the day I bought it. I oil it, grease it, but importantly, I wash it every time I've been down on the coast. There's nothing more corrosive than salt water, so please wash your gear and your lures as well. You know, they rust in no time at all. Well, we've had a lovely day. We've had a couple of fish as well. It's been difficult.
Got it.
We've even had a couple of garfish. Most of them come off because, as you can imagine, they're difficult to hook. The weather is turning, so we've got away with it. I'm looking over that direction now, and there's big dark clouds coming in. If the weather stays mild, you can fish, well, up to Christmas. As long as the sea doesn't cool down, then the bass are about. On some of the beaches, the school bass are here all year round. So get out and enjoy magnificent scenery in wild West Wales.
Discover fishing in Wales